Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. I'm Tyler Mirkovich, bringing you an off-season team outlook for the Baltimore Ravens, and this could be a make-or-break year for Ozzie Newsome and the Ravens franchise, as they have an abundance of free agents, and a lot of turnover can happen right here. And you know what hurt them late in the season? That was that passing game. It just deteriorated, and they have a bunch of wide receivers that are free agents, very questionable to return. Derek Mason, he retired for a point last year in the offseason. Mark Clayton, Kelly Washington, Demetrius Williams. That offensive line was great for them running the ball, and they have three key offensive linemen as free agents. Jared Gaither, who had a breakout year, Marshall Yanda, and Chester. So what does Baltimore start off with?
I think they have to start out with wide receiver, because I think they may bring Clayton back. You don't know if Mason's going to retire again, but every other guy you mentioned, you can easily be replaced. But I think they need another top receiver. You look at somebody in the draft like Demarius Thomas out of Georgia Tech, or really has been, out of Illinois. Those guys, or Desmond Briscoe out of Kansas. Those guys are big guys that can catch the football, solid guys, true number one type wide receivers that can make plays on the field and allow Clayton to work best underneath and in the slot as well too. And I also think they need to look at cornerback. Cornerback is key. Let's not kid ourselves. They did play well late. Let's give them credit for that. But they also struggled early in the season. They got torched. So they need cornerback, and they may need safety depth, because Ed Reed was flirting with retirement. So you want to build that depth behind Ed Reed in case he retires. Also, they do need a defensive end. Trevor Price, 34 years old, may need to get more production out that defensive end position, especially in that 3-4.
Well, they drafted Paul Kruger last year, who, he can play outside linebacker, but that 3-4 defensive end is hard to find. Those linemen in that 3-4 are tough to find. You mentioned a second there, DeJuan Landry, the guy playing alongside Ed Reed. He's a free agent. His return is questionable to the Baltimore Ravens. Fabian Washington, another free agent, who's one of the top cornerbacks. They improved during the year, as you said, but they still need depth. That's why those rounds 5, 6, and 7 are important, because if you could draft players in those rounds and plug them for an injured Ed Reed and injured Ray Lewis and not have too much fall off, that's why those rounds could be so critical.
Well, top to bottom, the Ravens do an outstanding job of that. They utilize all the picks well. They get production out of every pick in the draft. You also you bringing up all these guys depth-wise. They have to build depth on that team, because once they start getting injuries, a lot of veterans on that team, and they're going to see a youth movement, but they have to continue to build quality depth, not just add players for the sake of adding players.
Absolutely. And Jared Gaither, this guy, no one's talking about him, but the kid out of Maryland had a great year at tackle. They should bring him back. We'll see. But LaRon McClain, the fullback, who's been a Pro Bowler, great couple of years here, you know they love to run the ball. He's a restricted free agent, so they should match his offer sheet. I know not a lot of people think the fullback position is too important, but he is vital, because he could run the ball also in case Willis McGahee and or Rice go down.
Well, you look at the question, is McGahee going to return? Does he want to return? So if he leaves, now you have to add running back to that mix. But the good thing about this running back class is truly deep. You can go 5 rounds of quality running backs in this draft, so you can find the gem late. So the running back is going to be a question mark if those two guys leave. Quarterback, backup quarterback is also a question. If Troy Smith leaves, now you have to address the backup quarterback situation. Do you bring in a veteran, or do you draft a guy? This year's quarterback class, you might get a guy late, like let's say a Max Hall, or a guy from Fordham that I like a lot, John Skelton. It's guys like that you draft late, just to develop underneath Flacco. So that way you have, because if Troy Smith leaves, now you need a backup quarterback.
Absolutely. And Chester and Yanda also good years on that O-line. Keep that O-line together, because it's young and it's promising. So this is a very critical off-season for Baltimore. For more, visit footballgameplan.com or youtube.com/footballgameplan.